What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. I'm your host, Big Cam, and today we're going to be discussing the weekly nerdy news that happened over the last week, and this is a big old chunk of show. First, we got up some DC news, getting into some Hal Jordan, the new Lanterns TV show, possible castings, the Joker 2, the Penguin episode runtimes, new posters, new poster for the Creature Commandos, some new movies in the work that will look interesting around Hollywood, and then finishing off the show with some Marvel news and talking about some Agatha All Along, which I love and can't wait for. I believe that's what, 9 days away, next week sometime, maybe a week from Wednesday or Tuesday, I believe, is when Agatha comes out, and I am beyond excited for that. And the Penguin must be next week too. So exciting stuff right around the corner. But stay tuned this week too for some movie reviews coming out, some good ones. And yeah, let's get right into this Comically Boston. If you guys haven't yet, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. But let's get right into it, baby. Josh Brolin. Our boy Josh Brolin from Dune Part 1, Part 2, Thanos, Cable, and Deadpool 2. You know, he's played a lot of roles. But I find it funny that he has formally been offered the role of Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Hal Jordan. The same Green Lantern that one Ryan Reynolds played back in the day. And, you know, he was starred opposite him in Deadpool 2, so I just find that hilarious that Hal Jordan might have been Ryan Reynolds at one time and now might be Josh Brolin in the future. There's also been reports that have dropped that if Brolin declines, that they're looking at a Ewen McGregor or a Matthew McConaughey for this role. So I'm like, okay, what is this show? It's like an older Green Lantern. Either way, they're going to have to get these guys to get into pretty good shape, which all three of these actors tend to do if the role calls for it. I don't know if Brolin, well, technically Brolin's done some TV with that Outer Range show on Amazon Prime. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's pretty good. Comment below if you've seen that Josh Brolin TV show, if it's worth it. But, you know, I would be up for any one of those three Hal Jordans, especially if this Lanterns TV show is going to be kind of like a True Detective. You know, that would be right up Matthew McConaughey's alley. He was the first season of that show, no? But then that offers the question, who shall be the Jon Stewart? Now, just recently, and movie review will be out on the channel tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow sometime this week. Either way, I just watched this movie the other day, and it's called Rebel Ridge, and it's out on Netflix right now, and it starred Aaron Pierre. And Aaron Pierre was a badass. He was like a Black Rambo in this movie, but he didn't kill, right? Like I don't remember him killing anybody. I just, you know, kind of detaining or like, you know, restraining, you know, like just kind of took people out with jujitsu, which I thought was awesome. And he looked very proficient in it, but he also had like that voice, that face, that scowl. The physical demeanor, you know, he looked like he was in crazy good shape. He had recently been rumoredly cast in the Blade movie, but then had stepped away from the complications with that movie, probably because he's busy doing Rebel Ridge and a ton of other shit. I don't know, seeing him star alongside Mahershala Ali as Blade, I don't know, that would be really good actually. But seeing this man in this movie, I was like, damn bro, that's Jon Stewart right there. But I feel like he's kind of on the younger side. He hasn't really done a whole lot of movies, and you know, these other two guys seem older. But maybe it's an older Hal Jordan kind of mentoring a Jon Stewart. I don't know, but Aaron Pierre is definitely my choice for Jon Stewart right now. Comment below if there's anybody else out there that you'd like to see as Jon Stewart next to a Josh Brolin, next to a Ewen McGregor or a Matthew McConaughey. All of those sound pretty damn interesting. But moving on to some new posters for the Joker Folia El Du Joker 2 movie. Here's an IMAX poster, them walking down the same steps from the first movie, doing the kicks. IMAX October 4th. We're less than a month away for the Joker. There has already been some pre-screening reviews coming out, and it's about 50-50 from what I've seen. People either hated it or they loved it. For me, this whole movie's really going to come down to Lady Gaga's performance. I really liked the first one, so I don't see them drifting too far away. Here's a review from Ben Rolfe from Disgusting Film. He said, "As deranged and exciting as you would have hoped." And that's like vague, you know, like it sounds positive, but it's also not necessarily positive. You know, it's not necessarily negative either, but I know one thing that these trailers did made me want to see the movie. You know, like that one trailer with the "In the world needs now is love, sweet love," you know, like, and as they were cutting around, like that one trailer made me like, I'm gonna see this. Now I'm just hoping that that whole sequence and song is in the movie, you know, which might be getting my hopes up too far. But I don't know, man. Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker is terrifying. But like I said, this entire thing, I think, hinges on Lady Gaga. And I have never really liked her acting, right? Like, some of her music back in the day was alright, but I'm still not a fan of her music. I know, I haven't seen it necessarily, but what is that movie where she sings with Bradley Cooper? That was a pretty good movie. And it won awards, I think. A Star is Born. I haven't necessarily seen it all the way through, but I saw pieces of it. And, you know, in that, she looked pretty good, but she was also playing kind of like a country singer or something like that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But, you know, I've seen other things with her, like House of Gucci, and I hated that movie with all their fake Italian accents, and it was awful. The only person that actually tried to deliver some type of, you know, actuality in the role was Adam Driver, and I think that was noted because he ends up going on to play Ferrari in that movie Ferrari, no? You know, but like everyone else in the movie, mostly Lady Gaga, you know, she goes from like using an Italian accent to not using an Italian accent in that movie, like with a drop of a hat, and you're like, what the fuck? What, is she Italian or not? You know, a second ago she was a bafango, and then all of a sudden she's like, honey, what's wrong? And you're like, wait, it's either bafango or it's fucking honey. You know, like it's, you don't just go back and forth, especially when you're supposed to be set in Italy. Like they weren't necessarily in America. Like, I don't know, House of Gucci was not a very good movie. I didn't like that at all. But Lady Gaga has been getting some praise, some hate. So this entire thing to me is 50-50, and it hinges on her whether or not she's annoying, try-harding, or if she's actually giving a good performance. I have hope, but I don't know if that's going to be worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's going to pan out, but I'll certainly be in theaters October 4th seeing it. So stay tuned for a movie review coming your way next month. But, you know, comment below, what are your thoughts on the Joker movie and Lady Gaga in general? Should she have stuck to wearing meat dresses and singing, or is she accurate for diving into the acting? I don't know. I know Joaquin Phoenix is a psychopath, and him as Joker is really just wonderful in that role. But this is the second time he's played it. I certainly hope it doesn't kill him. You know, the last time he got so skinny. And this time around, I don't know if he'll be as skinny, but he's going to be certainly as deranged. I remember there's one clip of him at like an award ceremony. Everyone's standing up on stage in suits, and he's standing there kind of just chuckling to himself. And the video looked like Arthur Fleck Joker were standing there, and everyone was like, holy shit, I'm terrified. But moving on. We'll talk about the Joker more in October, but what I want to talk about starting next week, baby, is The Penguin. September 19th, Colin Farrell, The Penguin, Matt Reeves, director of The Batman. The city will be his, and he is, you know, taking over this city that has now crumbled under the flooding, and a penguin needs to take control over this flooded city. And I think he will. But here's a new poster from Total Film, and I just love how big he is, and the leather, and the scowl, the scars. He's smoking a fat stogie. You know, like, I really love how much Colin Farrell sinks into this character. And I love a character that's, you know, smoking a cigar. A lot of people describing this as DC if it was The Sopranos. And I'm into it. I don't know about y'all, but I am totally in for that description. But we have 8 episodes, so the Penguin will be 8 episodes. I believe Agatha will be 9, but I believe this episode 1 drops the 19th, and then it's not till the 29th that the second episode drops of the Penguin, for some weird reason. So I believe at that math that even though Agatha is 1 week ahead and it comes out 1 day earlier, I believe it will end on the same week. Agatha's finale will probably be on a Tuesday, and this episode 8 will probably be on that Sunday. You know, just for some future planning there. But episode 1 will be titled After Hours, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Episode 2, Inside Man, 56 minutes. Episode 3, Bliss, will be 59 minutes. Episode 4, Centani, will be 58 minutes. Episode 5, Homecoming, 54 minutes. Episode 6, Gold Summit, will be 52 minutes. Episode 7, Top Hat. Oh, is my Penguin going to get the full Top Hat monocle cane? Oh, I'd love that. Episode 7, Top Hat, is 47 minutes, or 46 minutes. The shortest episode of this entire series. And then they end out with an 1 hour and 8 minute episode, Great or Little Thing. Is episode 8. And I don't know about y'all, but I will be covering week to week that Penguin show, and I will be covering Agatha as well. I'm so excited for those shows coming up in September, just next week. And coming up in December, we also have a Star Wars show called Skeleton Crew that will be running alongside Creature Commandos coming in December, which we just found out recently from this picture. DC Studios, a Max original, an animated Creature Commandos series, December 5th on Max. And this show looks alright. You know, I'm not the biggest anime guy, but, you know, I'm gonna watch it. You know, it's in the DC universe, it's James Gunn, you know, it's gotta be good enough, you know. I'm not sure who that flaming skull guy is over there, but it looks like G.I. Robot, Mrs. Bride of Frankenstein. Don't know who's in the middle of her in Colonel Flag? Something Flag? Senior Flag? It's Rick Flag? I don't know. The same Flag from the Suicide Squad movies. Apparently this is his father, played by the same guy, don't know the actor's name, that played Rumlow, Crossbones in the Captain America movies, in Winter Soldier and Civil War. So yeah, and I like that what James Gunn's doing. He's casting people in these animated roles that can play the voice of the character, but also the live action version of the character. And he stated this a while ago. So to me, that aspect of it's pretty cool. But here's a shot of Frankenstein talking to Flag. We just saw Bride of Frankenstein a second ago. So that's the Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. And then there's G.I. Robot sitting here with a bunch of other GIs. I don't know who these guys are, but they're at a bar. And these are all coming to us from Entertainment Fall TV Preview 2024. So yeah, interesting stuff there. But just around Hollywood right now, there's a new film in the works from director Ron Howard called Eden, and that was currently played at TIFF over the weekend. I don't know what TIFF stands for, but everyone was there, and apparently Emmys were getting given out and awards and stuff like that, but I don't think it was the real Emmy show. Lots of confusion. But the cast of this movie for Eden, I have no idea what it's about, but we got Daniel Brohl, Sydney Sweeney, Vanessa Kirby, and Jude Law. Jude Law looking skinny and strong. He's peeling a fucking papaya or something. That's not a sexual innuendo either. But there's also Ana de Armas and these two chums giving her a ride here. So just in this movie alone, we got Jude Law, Daniel Brohl, Ana de Armas, Sydney Sweeney, and Vanessa Kirby. Just between those 3 women, I'm in, because they're all gorgeous, and I love all 3 of them individually. All 3 of them together, this movie's going to be awesome. But then you throw in a Daniel Brohl. Daniel Brohl's awesome. And then a Jude Law, he never really disappoints, but he's also kind of a little strange. Every time I see him, I don't know how to feel about him. Which is how I'm going to have to feel in the Skeleton Crew in December, because he's supposed to be a Jedi, but he might have some mysteriousness around him. So I'm concerned. But this other movie, Darren Aronofsky's crime thriller called Caught Stealing begins filming this month, starring Austin Butler, Regina King, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, and Bad Bunny. What? It follows a burned-out former baseball player as he's unwittingly plunged into a wild fight for survival in the 90s New York City. Wow. I don't know what this is about. A baseball player unwillingly plunged into a fight for survival, 90s New York, Austin Butler, Matt Smith. What? Regina King, Zoe Kravitz? What? Zoe Kravitz coming off her directing debut in Blink Twice? I don't know, but just after this report came out, Matt Smith is sporting a new haircut in New York, and it's like a tie-dyed pink and yellow mohawk. What? Were there any baseball players with a pink and yellow mohawk in the 90s? Is he playing the baseball player? I don't know. Either way, the way he's looking at me underneath these glasses looks like Daemon Targaryen's cut his hair into a mohawk and he's ready for battle. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting for House of the Dragon Season 3 for the next 2 years. But Matt Smith seems to be busy at the moment doing a badass film with a badass mohawk. So, I'm in. Last bit of Hollywood news before we get into some Marvel. Ocean's 14 is officially in the works 17 years after the most recent entry. Not true, Ocean's 8 was technically the most recent entry, but Ocean's 13 was what they're referring to 17 years ago. And Bernie Mac has passed. There might be a couple other people that have passed in this cast. So I'm not sure where the 14 comes in. They're going to have to get a couple new replacements. But George Clooney and Brad Pitt must have been talking about this on the set of Wolves or during the press of Wolves, their new movie that's coming out on Apple TV+. But George Clooney and Brad Pitt are reprising their roles with Edward Berger, All Quiet on the Western Front's director, Edward Berger, in talks to direct said Ocean's 14 movie. So I am in, baby. I am thinking, I love the Ocean's movies, and I love the two of them together. Brad and George are great. I'm sure they're going to get Matt Damon as well. The three of them together in those movies are so funny, but also then, you know, perform a heist and do badass things. So they're equally badass, but also hilarious, which is what I love about those movies. So I don't know when that will be taking place, maybe in a few years, but Ocean's 14 hopefully in the works very, very soon. There's a new show out on, I believe, either Hulu or Peacock, and it's about a robbery that takes place during Muhammad Ali's fight or something like that. I believe it's called Boogie Night? No, something like that. Boogie Fight Night? Something like that. But it stars like Don Cheadle, Sam L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson, Kevin Hart, you know, and there's a whole bunch of them. But probably during these interviews is where this came out, that Don Cheadle was asked about Armor Wars, and he said, "What is Armor Wars?" Which is either a very, very coy way of going about it, or Don Cheadle really has no fucking clue what Armor Wars is, which is just confirming to us Marvel fans that it isn't happening, and it never will. And yeah, don't get your hopes up. If you're a War Machine fan and you want to see more Rhodey, after Secret Invasion, I don't know if we're ever going to see Rhodey again, honestly. He might have just died as that fucking Skrull, which sucks. You know, it is what it is. But over the last week, some Agatha All Along news, right? So some images released of tarot cards. Now, I don't know a whole lot about tarot cards. There is a breakdown on the internet right now. Jessica Clemens did one over at New Rock Stars. She's great. But there's a death card, Three of Swords, stabbed through 3 hearts, and it looks like Agatha in a purple dress there. Queen of Cups in a yellow background, in a yellow outfit. The Tower, which looks like people are jumping out of it, and it's getting struck by lightning. 3 of Pentacles, with a, looks like the coven all circled up there. And then the High Priestess, which is a black woman with a blue headdress and light coming out of it, and it looks like a crescent moon down by her feet. I don't know what any of these look like, or mean, or why, but Agatha, they're putting these out, and they're putting out a whole bunch of posters fucking with us. If you guys remember back from the beginning, when they were doing the House of Harkness and the Covenant of Chaos, the Darkhold Diaries, the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe, right? Like, I'm still thinking these might end up being the episode titles, but they were changing the title of the series on purpose, just to fuck with us. And, you know, they were having far too much fun with it. But there's also 2 new images of Aubrey Plaza, and she's going to be playing Rio Vidal, which is a great name. And apparently her character and Agatha have some type of old relationship, connection. Maybe they were dating, married back in the day. They are hundreds of years old. They are witches. But I don't know. I don't know the deal with this. Screeners have been sent out to press people, and they've been watching them. I haven't seen nothing yet, but I'm so excited for this show to get you even more into the Halloween spooky season vibes, chilling. You know, I like the vibe of this show, where it's going to be heading, and the type of vibe it's giving off. So the same way they were fucking with us with the titles, they end up turning around and going, hey, guess what? We're gonna put out a bunch of new posters that are inspired by other posters, right? So this Agatha All Along poster is very much inspired by the mayor of Easttown. There's another one here that is supposed to be like Agatha All Along, Revenge is a Witch. I do really like this poster with Catherine Hahn laying in the lips, but this is a direct nod in reference to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? So, you know, and I've never seen this movie, but I don't know what it's about. I don't know where to watch it. I don't know if I've seen it, you know, streaming anywhere. Give yourself over to the absolute pleasure. I have no idea what that movie's about. Comment below if you've seen it and if you think I should watch it for the channel. Then there's another one here, Agatha All Along, walking into a house. I believe this is a Monster House reference, maybe. But either way, you know, I love how they're doing each of these, and they're supposed to be playing off of each other. Excuse me, that first one that I said was Mayor of Easttown is actually a True Detective kind of spoof. Either way, they posted these other 2, Agatha All Along, with like what might be a witch's hand or a werewolf claw hand pulling strings. Werewolf by Night? Don't know. And then there's this last one with purple and looks like an Illuminati eye down at the bottom that looks a little too aggressive for my liking. Wow, so Agatha All Along, baby. It was Agatha all along. Who's been messing with everything? Wow, that one is such a catchy little banger. And I really hope this show captures the same amount of magic as get it, witch show magic. Same amount of magic as WandaVision did, and the songs and the way that it goes through eras and different TV shows. I'm thinking we might get something similar to that here. I'm not getting my hopes too far up, you know, I don't want to jinx it. But I think this show will be really, really good and fun and surprising, but also very clear what it's trying to be. You know, it's not going to try and be the rest of the MCU. I think it's going to try and either be a WandaVision season 2, or it's just going to be its own thing, and it's going to be a Halloween type special, maybe along the lines of Werewolf by Night, or, you know, or along the lines of WandaVision, but more leaning into the horror, scary, spooky stuff of the Halloween time. I'm into it. Comment below, will you be watching Agatha All Along? Will you be watching The Penguin? Episode breakdowns coming for that next week. I'm so excited. Can't wait, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video and you want to support more, drop a like down below, comment, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell so you don't miss future movie reviews and Comically Boston's every Monday, weekly nerdy news, and episode breakdowns for The Penguin and Agatha All Along right around the corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for some great movie reviews coming out this week. My name is Big Cam. You can follow my other social medias down in the links down below. My Letterboxd, Twitter, all that stuff. Big Cam, 2 G's in the big, 'cause I'm extra big. And I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.